So I was just kind of looking at it a little bit there today, as I was trying to get work done on the computer. And there's this one tune. They're tunes by a guy called Gordon Duncan, who is a piper, a Scottish piper, and he wrote a lot of beautiful, beautiful music. And he was an amazing piper, award-winning piper, arranger for pipe bands, just an incredibly brilliant guy. But he was very depressed, and his regular job was he was a garbage man. That was his regular job. He drove a garbage truck, and but these tunes are unbelievable. And unfortunately, the guy took his own life there a while back. He was a very troubled guy. It's a very sad story, but the most beautiful music. Let me just show you this tune that I've been working on today. Anyway, that's the idea. Isn't that an amazing tune? Oh, thanks. I'm still working on it, but it's so syncopated, and it's got a really nice melody that runs through it, even though it's all syncopated and notey. It's still got this kind of slow melody that kind of pops out on top. It's just gorgeous. So Joe's going to come over. We're going to have a crack at this one and another one called Jock Brune that he wrote as well, and then probably a bunch of other stuff too, because Joe's also a piper, and I haven't played very much with fiddle players that are also pipers, and so it's going to be really interesting. But anyway, so that's my evening. Okay, let's get warmed up with the scale, shall we? A nice one. Let's do, say, oh, so I had young Liam tonight, and he's working on now. He's working on Swallowtail Jig. So he's doing your guys' set, actually. Swallowtail Jig followed by the Kesh. And I was thinking to myself, we worked on that a lot. I wonder where we are with the tempo on those two tunes, and see if we could kind of, do a couple speed trials on those two tunes, maybe a little bit. But anyway, Liam got it just like that. The Swallowtail Jig, he just played it. The only thing he didn't do was the long notes. That's his weakness. He doesn't recognize them. He's getting better. Okay, let's do it. G major, and then we'll work on those two tunes. It'll be really good. Ready? 2, 3, G. Arpeggio. right. How's everybody feeling? Mine was really good. My tuner was green and happy the whole time. You guys feeling good? Can we up the tempo a little? Let's do it. It's gonna be like this. 1, 2, 3, go. I had one sour bee. How did you guys do? Pretty good? Medium? Let's do it again. Straight away. 1, 2, 3, go. How's that feeling? Now, have we ever done this? Let's do it because we're about to do a set of jigs. So let's get that jig rhythm going with the G major in triplets. Okay, we'll go slow at first, and then we'll start to get it a little bit faster. Okay, starting on G, and then A, and then B. Ready, 2, 3, go. All right, everybody remember how to do that? Kinda? No, Bill? It's just a pattern. Watch. You do a triplet starting on each note of the scale. So you start one on G, and then you start one on A, and then B, and then C, and on you go. So you're basically backing up one. You're going up 3, and then backing up and doing another one. Back up and do another one. See how that works? Oh, you want to unmute and tell me that again?
You go down the scale?
No, this is going up the scale, and then we'll go down the scale. So, and at the very top, that's the very top. See that? And then we come down. Same way.
And what are you doing again?
So
What is it you're doing?
Yeah, it's the scale in triplets. So we're starting with G, A, B, and then A, B, C, and then B, C, D, all the way up the scale like that. Okay?
A, B, C, B, C, D.
And on up you go like that with your fingers. Okay, let's see if we can do it. I'll mute you.
Dan?
Yes, I'll eat.
Okay, the ending, when you come back down.
Yeah.
B, A, G, and then this. How do you end it?
Top or at the bottom?
Bottom.
The bottom. Oh yeah. So I go above because we don't have another string to go to below. See what I mean? So I do a little joggy there. Okay, don't worry about that though. It's the main part of the scale that's important. Oh, look at that parking cop. Oh, the parking cop. You know, we live on this little dead end street, and it's 1 hour parking, and everybody parks there for free, like always has. You know, always have. Nobody's ever had a problem. But once in a while, we get an overzealous parking cop that actually comes up our street, and it looks like they're there, and everybody's going to get a $15 ticket. It's happened a couple of times in history. It's always this one guy, Pulowski. Same name on all the tickets. I feel like saying, listen, Pulowski, man, don't do your job so good. Like, just keep driving past our street. Don't worry about it. Go get a coffee or something like that. Okay, let's do it. Here we go. G-A-B. Ready, 2, 3. Now we're going to come down. G, F, E. Ready, go. Little joggy. Yep, that looked like it worked, people. There's Debbie. Okay, now that we figured it out and it's working, it's a little smoother, we're going to speed it up. Okay, and we're going to maybe do it twice, and I'm going to speed it up again the second time. Okay, see if we can get the little groove going there. Well, hopefully it's not a little groove. Hi, Debbie, how you doing? We're doing scales and triplets right now. We're doing G major and triplets, okay? Okay, let's do it one more time, guys, and we're going to push it a bit. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Did that work okay? Faster. 1, 2, 3, go 2, 3. Do it again. All right. How was that? Jig practice. Not bad? Now you kind of jumped into it there, Debbie, because we worked on it very slowly a couple times there. So do you remember how to do that?
Yeah, I just couldn't remember how the sequence was at the very end when you tailed off at the end.
Yeah, because we don't have an extra string below the G, right? So we can't go. So I go up instead. See that? Just a little joggy. Okay, I'll call it out next time so you remember where. And it comes down from the high G. Okay, because there's a couple options there. It can also go all the way up to B, right? Which is kind of fun. It's fun to practice that once in a while. So you get all the way up. See, that's really, it gives you a little extra work on your high B as well. So that's just instead of starting your downward scale on G, you start it on B, and then you could go up from there. Really, it's an endless pattern. Let's do it one more time, then we'll get to the jigs.
So what are you doing? What are you doing here? 1, 2, 3. What is it?
It's open 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, open 3, open 1, all the way up, same way. See that?
Well, it's just 3 notes in a row.
Yep, absolutely. And then another 3 starting on the note below. Okay. So play G A B. And then A B C. And then C B D. Yeah, you're getting it there, Bill. That's good. That's good. Okay, one more time. One more time. This is extremely good practice. 1, 2, 3, go. That looked like it was a little bit smoother. Okay, jigs. So we're gonna do this set that Liam just started, which is the swallowtail followed by the cash. Okay, let's see. I just had it open. Swallowtail. Swallowtail and cash. Yeah, great set. Yeah, this would be Liam's first set of two tunes put together. So he's working on endurance. Stamina. It's hard to do that, it seems endless. Geez, I played at the Kaylee on Saturday. Talk about endless sets of tunes. Oh my God. It was just one dance after another. No waiting, hardly any waiting. And but it was awesome though. It was just such a great night. And the problem with that Kaylee in the West End is that it's at a Legion with a bar. So it ends up going long. Like it started at 8 and we didn't get out of there till midnight. That's 4 hours of dancing. I wasn't doing the dancing, obviously. All right. Now, it's not going to take much to bring these tunes back. We've been working on them a little bit, so it shouldn't be too hard. I'm trying to think of what tempo we should start with. Thinking like... It's kind of similar to what we just finished with that scale pattern. Why don't we do that? So not too fast. Just like that. Be lovely. Okay? We're going to do them 2 times each. Swallowtail first, cash second. Hey, Bill, do you need me to put it on my screen for you? I don't think he hears me. We'll carry on. He's probably just looking for his music. Okay. 1, 2, 3, go. Here we go. Yes. Alrighty. Everybody looked like they were happily sawing away there. How'd you do? How'd everybody do? Not too bad? Bill still. Yeah.
Yeah, I just have a question. When I want to get down to the E string more quickly. I always end up squeaking and
Hmm.
the things don't sound right. Like I think wherever I'm going to the G, I guess, or an open E, it's really hard. And I'm having the same trouble on the G scale going onto the G bow. It seems to stop and squeak and it doesn't sound like the violin at all.
This is on the G string you're talking about?
Yeah, on both, on the E's on this song and the G's on this scale.
Okay. So
So,
with the G's, with the G string is very loose and easy to choke off. So if you push on it at all, let me see if I can demonstrate it and see if that's the sound that you're getting. So
yeah,
like
I get
that,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's just too much weight.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, because see the G string is big and heavy, so you have to give it a little bit of a push to get it vibrating. But then it's very loose, so if you push on it, it's going to choke it off, and that's what that sound was there. It's like a little choky sound, and that's what's going on there. So you got to lighten up and move.
Oh, wow.
Now the E string.
Yeah.
So you're getting up to the E string, which and you said it was like the swallowtail, was it?
Yes. Well, it's on the cache.
Oh,
I noticed it mostly on the cache.
okay. And it's whenever you're going over to that string, you're getting a squeak.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that could be a few things. Mostly it's usually angle. And that's when people are going fast or they get panicky, they tend to go over to the E string like this.
Oh,
And it makes your bow go at an angle. See that?
yeah.
Now some people also do it like this. They go like that, the other way. See that? Used to be my
Okay.
problem. I used to get into the habit of every time I went to the E, hooking my fingers in a little bit because I knew that would happen. I knew I would splay out. See what I mean?
Oh,
So you could do it just with your fingers. See, you can splay it in and hook it in and splay it out.
oh, I see. Okay.
That's the usual cause of squeaking when you change over to the E and you get a squeak instead. That's usually what's going on is the wrong angle.
Okay. Okay.
The
I'll
other
keep
thing to
looking out for
remember,
that and thinking about holding my bow differently.
yeah, you got to check. Like when you go over to the E is different than all the other strings because the other strings go kind of out to the side. Like the G string is staying alive, right, John Travolta, right? The D and the A are out to the side, but the E is a drop. Goes
Yeah.
straight up and down. Now,
Wow.
that
Okay.
brings me to my next cause of squeaking on the E string. Touching it a little bit with your finger that is already on the A string. See that? So your finger
Yeah.
touching it. It's terrible.
Yeah.
And you might not be aware of that. So your finger's on the A string, but it's touching the E a little bit. And so in the swallowtail, probably not. It might be. It might be left over from that D. See that? Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay. So that's the second most common, in my opinion. But I bet you any money it's your angle.
Okay. All right.
Anybody
Dan,
else? Yes,
could
Bill.
you
Thanks,
give,
Dan.
you
Thanks.
give me, I'm 90 some years old and I have a hard time finding all these songs. So could you
I can
send
put it
me,
up on my screen real big.
put them up on the screen?
No problemo. I'll do it right now. Anybody else got any questions or issues before we try it again? I'd like to try it again at the same tempo, strengthen it up a little bit, and then see if we can push it. Okay? All right. And don't be afraid to stop me if you have questions. Now let me share my screen. Oh, that's the Zoom thing. Here's the set. Make her big. There we go. Is that going to do you, Bill? Bigger? I can do bigger. Not a problem. Now, have you got the swallowtail? You have the swallowtail? Okay, so I'll put the cache up on Sorry?
No, I don't have this wall. I don't have either one.
You don't have either one. Okay, so here, let me see. So we'll just make this a little bit more readable. And that should fit both of them. Can you see that okay?
Oh, I can see it better.
Oh.
And then there's the space, the clear space that starts the swallowtail.
The top one is the swallowtail, this one here.
Yeah,
And
and this one.
this is where the kesh starts here, the different colored paper.
Okay,
Okay?
I'll give her a try.
All right, great. Let's do it. Same exact thing, except much better this time. Smoother, more in tune, no squeakies, and more feeling. 1, 2, 3, go. Again. Here we go. Keep going. Don't stop. that looks successful. Take a little breather there, and we're going to speed her up. Now, when we were doing the scale pattern, the G major and triplets there, we were getting pretty quick, and it was starting to have a little bit of a jig feel, which is where you emphasize the first note of each group of three that you're looking at there. See that? The first note of each group of three. So yumpata, 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 and you emphasize it by using lots of your bow, getting right up to the end, so or down to the end. So yumpata, up we go, down we go, up we go, down we go, up we go, and then by virtue of using that big bow, you get a good belty accent. Okay, that's what we're going for there. So when we pick it up, that could very well happen to you, which would be just great, okay? And what you want to concentrate on is just watch my arm again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See that? That's how I get that jig rhythm going. My arm moves twice per measure for the downity and the uppity. Okay? So while we're doing these jigs, you're going to keep that in your mind and see if you can get it happening. Now, how can I do this? No, that doesn't work. I know there's a way that, yeah, there we go. Okay, now I can just pop it down when it's time with my scroll. I'm getting really good at using my computer keyboard with the scroll of my fiddle. I feel like I should put like a pointer thing on it, you know, so I can push buttons with it while I'm playing. I get one of those foot controllers. That's what my wife has. She's gone completely iPad. So when she gets music now, half the time it's electronic, but when she gets regular music, she scans it right away, and it's on the iPad. And she has this little button that's attached to her tuba that she just taps, and it turns the page. And she's shocked. She can't believe it. She's like, she doesn't know why it took this long for her to do it. And now she's trying to get rid of these huge binders of music. From the brass quintet, they got a Christmas show, they got a jazz show, they got a background music show. And that's 5 big binders for each one. And they're all in the basement. We don't need them anymore. We moved them to like 3 houses. Okay, let's try a little quicker. See, that rhythm's coming in there even at that tempo. So it should be good. 1, 2, 3, go. Here we go. Yeah, I was enjoying that feel. That was a good tempo. Let me see what the tempo was. So we know what we're working with here. 85. Not too bad. Not too shabby. Now, did anybody have mishaps or things that didn't work or hopeless feelings of hopelessness or despair?
A lot of squeaking.
The other thing is, when's the last time you rosined your bow?
I think earlier this morning.
Oh yeah, oh it should be good then. And then there's always too much rosin is often a factor as well.
Okay.
But overall, try just lightening up on the bow. Okay. In terms of weight, like it depends on the bow and depends on the string and stuff, but in general, the A needs just the tiniest bit of weight against the stick, just the tiniest bit to get a good note started. See that? The D needs just the tiniest bit more. And you can feel it. You can feel the string kind of under your bow. Get that out. See that? And then the G string, like as I explained already, it needs very little, but it does need a little. The E string, none at all. Absolutely no weight on the E string for me anyway. Okay? So try just lightening up overall in general.
Okay.
Okay? See if that helps.
Yeah. Thanks.
No problem. Anybody else having any issues like that? I don't know why.
Me.
Yes, what is it?
I feel like, well, I had a lot of squeaking as well, but I think for me it might be like a combination of, and I'm trying to like adjust things and figure it out, but I can't tell which is the issue. I know that sometimes the angle of my bow is off. I think also sometimes, and I can't see it, but I think my bow might be tilted where like the strings aren't flat on the
Okay, that's called the pitch. Here, I'm just going to stop sharing for a second because I can't really see you guys. Okay, so that's called the pitch of the bow. When the bow does this, just
yeah,
like,
and I can't tell if I'm
and it doesn't. The thing is about that is that it's okay for the bow to pitch. It's normal for the bow to pitch, and actually, you can kind of tell which way I normally pitch because of the hairs are broken on one side. See that? Always that one side, always the away from me side. See that? Like this. So that's the way my bow naturally pitches, and it's normal. They used to say in the Royal Conservatory method, you want to keep the pitch to a minimum. It's normal for the bow to pitch like a boat in the water, but if it starts to go haywire, then it can become a problem. When your hair leaves the string a little bit, half of it or whatever, uh, you risk scratchiness and sometimes squeaking. Okay, so they say your bow should pitch, it's fine, but if the hair is leaving the bow, it gets tricky. Now, the classical guys that I know, they use that. They use as little hair, just a bit of hair, and the whole thing for volume control. See that? But that's upper level stuff. For now, I would try to just keep it to a minimum. As the bow pitches and as you feel it, you'll be able to kind of manipulate it a little bit more. Okay, but I would say maybe it's a combo of that and your grip being a little bit too tight because of what you said. Because if it's squeaking, when the bow is supposed to sit loose in your fingers. See that? Like that, kind of sitting on top of your fingers, nice and loose. And then it can go straight. Look, see, no problem. She's going nice and straight there. It's not kind of doing that. It's just going nice and straight. Now, watch me. I shouldn't do this I do this on my hand all the time. They're going to start getting mad at me, Heinel. Stop touching your hair. Anyway, watch this. Now, I'm going to start off with a nice loose grip on the bow. And you're going to see my bow moving nice and straight, no problem at all. I'm going to start to tighten up my grip and you'll see what happens to the bow. Now I'm loosening again. Back to normal. Now I'm yeah, because instead of your hand being allowed to, like, it's supposed to be a trailer hitch, right? But as soon as you start to tighten up on it, it follows your hand, and it really is hard to get it to not follow your hand. There's a couple of things you can do. Of course, the spider crawl. That's the number one way to hold the bow with as minimal gripping as possible. Very little gripping. I always say they call this the grip, and I wish they wouldn't. There's a very, very light touch on the bow so that you can almost bow with your fingers. And in fact, that's what I do all the time. See that? That's my main percent of my bowing is that. So that's the first thing to lighten up your grip. The second thing is this. See that? You'll hold the bow like you're supposed to, point it up at the ceiling, and go up and down, keeping it straight up to the ceiling, and you'll see what your wrist has to do. Okay? And that's what we're going to transfer same thing over to on the horizontal. There you go, Lena. Yes. Okay. And you can hear the squeaking that happens when the bow is not straight. It's the angle that I was talking to Astrid about. It can really squeak.
I'm uncertain about one more factor, which is the tightness of the hairs.
Yes.
I don't know how to tell when I've tightened it the right amount.
You know what my
I don't know
dad's
if
teacher used to
it's-
say?
I don't know.
My dad's teacher used to say, when the bow is too tight, it bounces. When the bow is too loose, it bounces.
How do you?
I'll tell you, this is what I do because, there are so many different bows, but I've noticed kind of a prevailing trend. 3 to 5 turns.
From where though? What if I've loosened it too far?
Well, then, so 3 to 5 turns from normal. I'm going to show you normal. So that's 3 turns. That's my usual 3 turns. So that's slack bow to put in my case. Okay. See that? See the little slack? So now, 3 turns. Watch what happens. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm just going to do a little bit more. That's what it should look like for my bow anyway. And yours is not going to be much different. Now I'll tell you the old way that they used to, I never understood this, but in the Royal Conservatory method, they used to say you take your pinky and you should be able to not quite get your pinky through. That's what they used to say. The side of it, like on the side. Okay? Yeah. So if you can, it's probably too tight. Here's the outside. If the bow is straight, or if it bows the other way, it's way too tight. Okay? And also it tightens on you as you play. So when you take it out of your case, you get to your tightness. You're playing, especially if it's outside, and it's going to change on you. It's going to tighten on you. And you got to keep your eye on it. You got to loosen it off after about 20 minutes or so. Okay? So that's the deal with tightening your bow. 3 to 5 turns. And then you mess with it from there. And it's like, if you do your down bow and it's really bouncy, then try a little bit tighter. If it gets worse, then go the other way. See what I mean? You play with it, and then you go looking for better bows because you're convinced that the problem is the bow and not you. Then you get obsessed finding the perfect bow, and then you find her at Heinel, but they won't sell her to you. And you're stuck with the big fat germ, and that's the deal with.
I guess I'm on a normal trajectory of concern.
That's right. Exactly right. Any other very, very good questions like that before we try her again at 85?
Thank you.
Okay, I'm impressed with the tempo. 85 is really good for these tunes. Does it seem solid? Does everybody feel like it's pretty solid and reliable? Not many screw ups or smoke breaks or slowdowns or gnashing of teeth? Astrid's gnashing her teeth a little bit. No big deal. I know a good dentist. She plays the flute. Let's do it again. I'll get it up on my screen. And share the screen. There we go. Okay, I can make it even bigger now that I can scroll it. Oh, it's about as big as she gets. Okay, let's do it. It might even be a little bit faster. We'll see what happens. Oh, 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Woo! Oh, that Joe? Hold on. Give me 1 sec. Oh, Joe. Hey, Joe. No, that's my neighbors. Oh, hey. Yeah. There's spots on the street. You gotta find a spot on the street, unfortunately. Yeah. But there should be a one somewhere. Okay. That was Joe the Piper / fiddler. I don't see any pipes, just his fiddle. Now, how did we do there, people? How did that go? Is it okay? Okay. So now that was, again, I'm going to come up with the tempo here. I think it was about the same, but it could have been a little quicker. Just checking here. Die, diddle dee, die, diddle dee, diddle dee. Yeah, it was. It was 90. That was 90. Woohoo! And did it go okay? It's passable? Good. No, Astrid? More squeaking?
No, I'm struggling at the speed, but it's I'm and that E I'm very conscious of my bow now, that it has to have this strange angle change. So I'm very conscious of it. So the split second that I think of it, I get behind.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah.
Are you still squeaking on it, or is that better?
Well, it's a little bit better.
Good.
Because I know what you said was it was working. So
Okay, you just gotta
but
work.
then I get behind because I think about it, Dan.
Yeah, for sure. No thinking. No, I don't do any thinking. I avoid it. I avoided it all day, actually. It was great.
Anyway, we're getting there.
That's fine. That's fine. Okay, now that Joe's here, I didn't expect him to come so quick. So let's give her one more go at that same tempo. And our goal for next week is to feel good at 90. And this is going to be great because you can go back to this video now and you can go through all those tempos, right? Coming up and go through and see if there's anything stopping you or whatever. And then we'll try to. What I'd really like to do next week is to get a couple of ornaments in there. Now I'm doing them out. I'm doing them all as we go along. Okay, I'm doing all of the ornaments that I can do. So, and you're going to hear that when you're practicing along with the video. You're going to hear that. And so it would be great to just get a sense of where they go and what I'm doing. It's mostly rolls, and that's going to be kind of the first one we stick in there. Now let's give her one more go. And we'll keep her at 90. Oh, got to put it up on the screen. Okay, yeah. Share the screen. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, go. Here we go. Okay, that was quick. I hope it wasn't a metronome notch too far. But if it was, go back to the previous and do it there, okay? That was pretty quick. But it looked good, though. Looked like people are hanging in okay. There's only a few dings on your helmets there, guys, I think. No big deal, man. Anyway, so that's our goal for next week, okay? Getting it solid at about that tempo or a little bit slower, and then we're going to try to slam an ornament in there. That's our goal for next week, okay? Alrighty. But oh, I forgot. We haven't done any Highland pipe music in a while. We're gonna have to do that. Yes, Bill.
Like, I don't, how do I get this and play it again?
Oh, it's on the YouTube. I'll send you a link.
Send me a link?
I'll send you a
Okay.
link. Yeah, I'll upload it right away, and then I'll send you a link right to it, so you can just keep working on it.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Okay, guys, and yeah, we're gonna learn Highland pipe music next. That's the next new stuff we're gonna do. Brace yourself. Okay, see you later.